Failure is uncommon on the internet. Now, I'm not saying that you won't find it. There's plenty of compilations where you see people fail and you kind of make fun of them. It's a little funny. But intentionally, people that intentionally post their faults online aren't very common, especially in the art community, or especially whenever you're attempting something, or it's in any community. No one wants to show off something that they failed on. No one wants to show a flaw, right? That's not particularly something that people enjoy flexing. But it's something that is very natural. It happens all the time. But you kind of forget that, especially when you go online and you see other drawings. You see these perfect drawings, these wonderful, beautiful rendered drawings. Whether on paper, digital, painting, doesn't matter. It's very easy to get all lost in this idea of perfection and how every single drawing is perfect. I mean, how I've even been noticing a lot of people kind of re-explaining what a sketchbook is, because some people don't understand that sketchbooks are full of mistakes. And there's this aesthetic where you have to make each sketchbook perfect and beautiful. That's not true. Sketchbooks, my sketchbooks at least, are dirty. There's ripped out pages from me getting angry at certain drawings. There's lead everywhere from smears of my hand. There's jumbled up rips and tears of paper throughout the entire 50 to 100 pages because I keep bumping or dropping things, or maybe some of the paper ripping off the rings on top. That's just how it is. That's normal, guys. It's very normal. And I feel like even though I'm explaining it, it's not something that I like to admit. For example, I probably draw about 5 sketches every single week, but I only upload 2 videos. Most of my sketches you guys don't see because I'm embarrassed to show them. They're not particularly something I want to show off. I want to put my best foot forward every single time, show you a home run every single time, but swing and a miss is the most common way I draw. It's something you don't very see. It's something you don't see very often. I don't know why I messed that up so badly, but it's normal. So this week, on accident, when I was drawing sketches for this video, and this is why the video is a little late because I kept messing up and I didn't feel good about any of the sketches, I decided, you know what, this should be this week's video. It should be a couple of sketches where I mess up and one that proves that messing up is normal. The final sketch where even though I messed up along the way, it pays off. Because that's something about that's the thing about messing up. Every time you mess up on something, you change. You make increments. You slightly change the way you draw next time. You change little things, the way you draw your lines, the way you approach it. More references, maybe? Change up the pose, change up different things, and it becomes better over time. You won't ever notice it. Every single drawing you do, you technically improve. It might be a single line you drew that's a little bit straighter. It might be a single sketch that you make, or a single slight change. And you won't notice it. I doubt you will notice it. But on one drawing, every single change that you made in those failures or in those past drawings, they will kind of sync together. And then that will become your new baseline best. That's how it works. That's always how it works. At least that's how I think it works. Every failure you draw, there's one success in there somewhere. And it might be just a singular line, or one singular change in the way you change your pose, or maybe one singular shape that you slightly shift to the side that makes it a little bit closer to real anatomy. It could be anything. Maybe one singular hair strand that makes it just more realistic, just that much more realistic. But eventually you create a bunch of strands that's much more realistic. They're all mismatched, but they're a bunch of strands. And then for one drawing, they all come together, and they're all good strands because you've drawn both the failures and the successful ones. You just never noticed. So this week, you're gonna see about 6 different sketches. 5 of them, previous failures, and I hate all of them. The last one I like, but I hate the 5 sketches. Now, it's demoting, guys. It's demotivating. It's not very fun to see. And you'll see the first 3 sketches were all on the same canvas. Imagine failing 3 times, or at least what I consider failures, 3 times in a row on the same canvas, all of them staring at you like they're judging you. These are bad sketches, man. These are awful sketches. Do better. Draw better. It's not fun to see, and it's not fun to be notified constantly when you look at the canvas that you drew terribly. It sucks. That's just how it is. But if you can recognize that and do better, you win. You just have to keep drawing. That's the point of the video. You keep on drawing and you keep on making the attempt. It sounds corny. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's corny as hell. But I kept on drawing, and you will eventually see the sketch that is produced. It's not perfect, but it's the best out of the 5. It's best out of the 6. And it is, in my opinion, a fantastic drawing. I love it. You'll slowly see the pose change. You slowly see it going from straight up, standing, very boring, very stiff, to slowly bent over, holding a bunny, to sitting down, and then to being surprised about there being a bunny on the floor, and then slightly tweaking that pose and making it more realistic with foreshortening. You can see it. You'll see it. You'll literally see every single separate different sketch. It's standing straight, bending over, sitting down, going back to going straight, then tweaking that same pose of her being surprised. Because every single failure, I tweaked it just a little bit, just enough to make it more realistic. The hair gets tighter too. The first sketch is probably like strands of hair. Then I try more like big, bold shapes of hair, and then it goes back to strands using big, bold shapes. Every single time it's an upgrade. Every single time there's a slight tweak. But I don't notice those. When I was drawing, all I noticed was that I failed. You notice the biggest glaring issue, and it brings you down. I failed the first 5 sketches. That's the only thing I remember, is that I failed. But that's normal, dude. That's 100% normal. But you guys just gotta keep drawing. That's it. Now, before the video ends, I do want to talk about the sketch a little bit. I don't want it to be an entire sentimental video, because I actually like talking about the sketch. It is fun. Recently, I did make a critique video on how I should draw line of actions and changes and poses and foreshortening. So I wanted to make an attempt at drawing something not as drastic as Julia, where her hand is completely straightforward and doing like a power pose, but something a little bit more subtle and more natural. And this is what I came up with. I think the line of action is a lot better. It's definitely curved and it's no longer straight. It's not super drastically curved, but it's not straight anymore, which is what leads to stiffness. And I think, though there's not extreme foreshortening, her hand does slightly reach out towards the audience with her fingers growing and her hand being a lot bigger. And the backhand definitely does look a lot smaller when it's kind of flowing away. The feet is no longer just really boring and straight down. It's now kind of like at a weakened position where the knees kind of go buckled in inwards. So it looks a lot better and it looks more natural to me. And I like how I added a different subject, the bunny. Makes it a little bit more exciting than just having one singular subject. I weirdly enough focused on the face a lot. I think I messed up a lot on the face, and that's why I have so many references of just anime and manga over there with the pose and the Terraria character. But overall, it was very fun, very enjoyable. I don't think I mentioned this, but yeah, the character I'm drawing is from Terraria. It's the zoologist, the NPC from the game, and I wanted to draw it I want to draw it into not pixel art because I wanted to interpret how I would see it. That's all it is. But I think that's the end of the video. I just wanted to give a bit of a message because I just want to remind people that it's normal to fail, and 100% a thing that will always happen consistently no matter how much you try to run away from it. But you shouldn't run away from it, you should embrace it. It's fun. Trust me. Because one day, you'll look back on it, and all those best drawings you had now will end up being your failures. But you had fun with those best drawings. You look back and those were your good drawings that you have good memories of. Those are your old successes. And now, those help you make your new bests. So, I hope you guys had a wonderful time listening to me rant a little bit. You guys have a wonderful one. Take good care. Make sure you drink a lot of water. It's very good to do that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And just, once again, just let me say it one more time. Just keep on drawing. Because once you put your pencil onto that paper, or you put your digital pen on that tablet, you're already doing a lot better than most. Bye-bye.